There you go. Just remind me, I'll make a copy of this one. Alright, so when you get your rack, typically what this is going to come in like, this is going to be together, okay? Because it's a sack. This is how a lamb walks around, okay? Every animal has 2 tenderloins, and this is split. When it comes in, typically you get these holes like this. I'm going to saw this on a bandsaw, like he was doing with the hacksaw. Then you're going to have a chine bone, which normally would be here. And then you're going to end up, and they've already taken out, normally you're going to have, once you take this chine off, there's going to be feather bones. There'll be bones coming out like that. So there's a bone here holding this together, but it's been removed. So then on this, the feather bones, you typically, I wanted to just have the chine removed to show you that, but I'll just show you that.
You said it was hard to remove it yourself, right?
Well, the chine, but the feather bones, once this chine is taken off, because it's a solid mass, once that's done, because you typically run this on a bandsaw and run it down like that, this pops off, and then it opens up the feather bones. Then you take your knife and you come in and you peel these back. And remember, you got the eye, this is your money cut right here, so you don't want to go in and gouge that meat. So basically, the first thing you got to do is you got to take out, there's also a blade. See this piece right here? You got to come under this. Always put your hand behind the knife, never cut towards yourself. Always have your hand here. You saw how the guy was doing it too, when he's pulling away, he's always pushing, moving his hand around. I've seen it. People, the knife will slip out and it goes right to your hand, takes a chunk out. You do it when you're slicing prime rib, you got to be careful. You're going to come underneath here. So what you're going to do is you're going to peel this blade. There's a lot of waste here. So come underneath this. This blade's going to come off. Okay? That's your Some countries, they cook down all this stuff. They use it to fry everything in. You know? And also, if you don't have a grocery store on the street, you might render that down. That's the fat you cook stuff in. I get it. I'm not going to cook my stuff in that because I didn't grow up there.
Could it be like that for ground meat?
Yeah, you could use some of that. You don't want to get the sinew in there, though. You know what I mean? So when you get to this point, see how I'm taking that off right here? Then what I like to do is come and score it about halfway down. You're going to go straight through and come straight down to the bone and then cut against the bones, and this is going to peel right off. Okay? This is all waste too. You don't have a lot of useful product here. It's just pure fat. It's easy. So, now, this top part right here, you don't want to go in. See, this is where all your money is. You also want to leave a little bit of fat for insulation on top. Number one, to give it a little bit of flavor, and also to give it a little bit of weight. All right? It's some fat on the outside. Number one is for insulation. It's also good flavor. So don't go gouging the meat. Come in and take the top off. And this sometimes will just peel right off too. Okay, that comes off. Oh, also this purple, this is the USDA stamp, so that means it's been graded. So you don't have to freak out. Some people are like, oh, it's purple. That's a good thing. So when you get to this portion right here, see, I'm not going to mess with this anymore because I want to leave that for insulation. So at this point, I'm going to do that in a second. What I like to do is I'll come back to this. What I'm going to do is make little incisions down the bones. I'm going to show you a really neat trick. So what I like to do is turn it and face me, because you don't want to do it backwards. You're going to end up having a staircase. So this is when you're going to go and you're going to French it out. Come down here, you're going to take these little rubber bands, these are going to come out.
That stuff is usable. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can cook it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the inside of, there's a lot of sinew on this.
Okay.
I mean, you could grind it up, I guess. I worked at a steakhouse for 8 years. We never used this.
There's
Chef.
some lunch on.
I don't know, you'll probably don't have your little tidbits.
Yeah.
So,
When you would only do this for lamb, would you do? You wouldn't do this for like a pork rib or anything, would you?
if you do pork chops, yeah, it would be this would be the same anatomy for any animal that's got ribs on it.
Okay.
Okay, so if you
So
want to do
can
a
still
ribeye,
do it. Okay.
if I got in a 107 ribeye or a 109, like a prime rib,
Yeah.
exact same thing, it's just that big. And you definitely need a bandsaw to do that. Okay, so this is the whole Frenching part right here, where you make it all she pom pom. And you guys can use that word.
What is the advantage of that, of doing that?
Of Frenching it?
Just of making it look nice, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you don't want to go eating it. Now, at this point, guys, you could take this. Remember when he put the crust on it?
Yeah.
You could season this, salt, pepper, sear the bejujies out of it, rub it, and roast this whole thing off like it is. Or, we did a barbecue, sausage chipotle barbecue with a lamb chop like that. What we would do is make a little march here, open it up a little bit, season it, salt, pepper, sear it on a flat top, finish it in the oven, serve it up like that, and we'd serve the whole thing on a plate like that. Looks pretty cool. So, then when you get down to this point, let me show you this little trick right here too. Now, you can either scrape the bones off, or you can take your string. This is a cool little trick. I'm only going to do it on one. Take this down right here. And when you pull that off, it gets all the sinew off. And I'm going to show you.
Okay. Right down to the bottom.
You see how clean that is?
Yeah.
Alright, so if you do that, you can go down and have that all the way down. Or you can just scrape them off. That's fine too. Typically, if you're cooking this in a broiler that's like the broil from the top, they've got those super cells in it that get up to like super high temperature, between 600 and 800 degrees, it's going to burn all this fat off anyway. Sometimes if you want to, you can also wrap them in aluminum foil and it'll keep them from burning up. You know, so because if you want to have the chops on there, especially if you're doing like lamb chops, lollipops, or appetizers. So, when you go to serve it, you can either do triples and serve this, and you would get $50 for this order of lamb right here. Okay? That's a big portion. Typically at lunch we give them 4. We do doubles. If you get a medium well or well done, typically we cut them automatically. If it's a well done, you cut them into singles. Okay? Yeah, I mean I can eat these. I can eat this rare. I could. So I'm gonna cut them all into singles for us today. But you understand how I'm doing that for presentation purposes. It looks really nice. It goes out of the table like that. Or, you know, at lunchtime you might just do 4. And you could do them propped up. They could go on top of, stand up. I've got some rice and some other.
How much would the 4 thing at lunch cost?
Yes. Stir it, get it worked in, and just cover it up.
You're looking at least $30.
Get it working in.
At least. I was hard. Yeah. At least $30. Chef, you're talking about Smith and Walensky when you were there?
There you go. All right, so guys, couscous takes literally 5 minutes to cook. Typically for one box, it's 2 cups of liquid. I just put water in it. Normally you could do it with chicken stock. Depends on what you're serving it with. Could be shrimp stock, could be chicken stock, could be beef stock, whatever. That's fine. We let that sit for 5 minutes. We're gonna fluff it up, add some butter to it.
How much would a lunch portion cost?
28. No, four chops would cost you about 28 bucks. This right here is $48 for a double wrap like this for
That's
shrimp.
a lot of lamb.
Nah.
It's
not too bad.
That is a lot of lamb.
You guys have Aflac? Nah. Okay? And you also want to make sure you have a nice sharp knife. So, which I thought I had a brand new sharp knife, but it obviously looks like it's okay, so what I'm going to do here is go ahead and toss this with yes. All right, so this is my little marinade. I'm going to go a little bit of olive oil, chopped up fresh garlic, a little bit of mint in there would have been nice, but hey, not the end of the world. Okay, so let's go through this one more time. You got your blade, okay? This has got to come out first. Get that come in, come down against the bone. Okay, that blade comes out. And you come down, score it. Okay, that's that. Come down the front. And if you got a really sharp knife, once you do this a few times, you'll be able to go through a knife and just go through and pop these out. And the guys that do this, like, you know, day in, day out, it's like they're light and fast. Obviously, you know,
Do it every day.
practice makes perfect. And you play how you practice, so. Okay, like I said, if you want to, you can go through, and you can just scrape these off too. All right, that's that. Can you do me a favor? Can you turn that hood on now? It's starting to get a little hot. That grill's getting a little heated up. Is everybody in here eating lamb?
Yes, yes.
Is that why you came? Okay, so